walked onto the stage and literally made it rain, cash flying through the air before the game even started. This is George Stathulis, and this is the night the evil eye was not enough. George Stathulis is from Southern California. He is Greek. He is loud. He is proud, and he brought every single person he has ever met to this show. When Howie sees the audience section reserved for George, it is overflowing. This is not a support group. This is a Greek village that relocated to a television studio for the night. George works for his family's restaurant and catering business. He just got married to the love of his life, and he walked onto that stage like he owned the building. He even brought an evil eye pendant to give to the banker protection from bad energy. George even gave one to the banker as a gift, which is basically saying, 2014 here, protect yourself, because I am about to take all your money. That is the kind of energy George brought to this game. Confident, superstitious, loud, proud, and absolutely fearless. His family filled an entire section of the audience, and from the moment George walked on stage, it sounded like a soccer stadium in Athens. This was not going to be a quiet game. But here is what made this episode different from most. George had a safety net. State Farm, the insurance company, was sponsoring the show that night and guaranteed George $25,000 no matter what happened. Win or lose, good board or bad board, he was walking out of here with at least $25,000. That changes the entire calculation of every single decision George will make tonight. It means he can take bigger risks, because the downside is capped. It means he can push further, because there is always a floor beneath him. It means he can say no deal with more confidence than any other contestant, because even if everything goes wrong, he is not walking out with nothing. And that freedom is about to be both his greatest advantage and his greatest temptation. Most contestants have nothing to fall back on. George had a floor, a cushion, a guarantee that no matter how badly the game went, he would not leave empty-handed. And that safety net, it was about to become the most important thing in his entire game. He picks case number 7, a lucky number in many cultures, and especially meaningful for George, who brought every ounce of superstition and tradition he could carry onto that stage. His family cheers like he just scored a touchdown. The game begins, and nobody in that studio knows they are about to witness one of the most dramatic rises and falls in Deal or No Deal history. First round is rough, he loses some big numbers early, but the million is still alive. 400,000 is still alive. The board is damaged but not destroyed. The banker calls with $7,000. George does not even blink. No deal. He has the State Farm safety net and 2 massive numbers still on the board. $7,000 for a man whose family section alone is worth more than that in pure energy? That is an insult. No deal. The game continues. The rounds continue, and the offers start climbing. 16,000, 51,000. Each round, George keeps the big numbers alive, and the offers keep going up. His Greek family is going absolutely wild with every no deal. The energy in the studio is like a wedding reception. Everyone is dancing. Everyone is shouting Greek words that Howie definitely does not understand. And George is the groom at the world's most expensive Greek wedding, who absolutely refuses to leave the party. Every no deal is met with a roar from his section that shakes the studio walls. The energy is unmatched. Nobody has ever brought this many people or this much noise to Deal or No Deal. And then comes the offer that changes everything. $89,000. Now remember, George has the State Farm $25,000 on top of that. So if he takes 89, he is actually walking out with $114,000 total. That is life-changing money for a restaurant worker who just got married. That could be a down payment on a house. That could fund the catering business. That could set up his new life with his wife in a way most newlyweds can only dream about. Would you take it? $114,000 total, 89 from the banker, plus 25 from State Farm, with the $1,400,000 still on the board? Think about what you would do, because George is about to make his decision. No deal, $89,000, $114,000 total, with the safety net, 2014, rejected on national television by a man holding an evil eye pendant and backed by what appears to be the entire population of a Greek island. He believes The evil eye is protecting him. The million is still there, and he wants more. One more case. And George dodges the big numbers again. The million stays, the 400,000 stays, and the new offer comes in at a number that makes the entire studio gasp, $120,000. With the State Farm money, that is $145,000 total, the highest offer of the night. The kind of money that would transform George's life completely. But wait, before you hear his answer, think about this. $145,000 guaranteed, or the chance at $1 million. George has already proven he can dodge the big numbers. His luck has been incredible. But how long can luck last? How many more times can he open a case and avoid disaster? The evil eye can only do so much. Charms protect against bad energy, but they cannot control which numbers are inside 26 sealed cases. At some point, superstition meets mathematics, and mathematics does not care about your pendant. And here is where the tragedy begins. George turns down $120,000. His father-in-law thinks there is only $10 in his case. Some of his family is begging him to stop, but George cannot hear them over the noise of his own belief. No deal, $120,000 plus the $25,000 safety net rejected. And from this point forward, the game falls apart. The big numbers start falling one by one. The offers crash from $120,000 down to $53,000, then lower and lower and lower. The board that once held $1 million and $400,000 is slowly, painfully emptying of everything valuable. George watches it happen in real time, and there is nothing he can do to stop it. Then comes the moment that ends everything. George has to open one more case. $400,000, the last big number on the board. The only thing keeping his game alive is in danger. He opens the case with his wife standing next to him. She cannot look. He cannot breathe. The case opens. $400,000 gone. And just like that, it is over. The board has nothing but tiny amounts. The offers collapse to absurd numbers. $40, $44, $60, from $120,000 to $60. George keeps saying no deal, because at this point, what is there to lose? The State Farm, $25,000, is his floor. So he rides it all the way down, opens every case, and walks out with $75 in his case plus the $25,000 from State Farm. $25,000 and $75. Let that number echo in your mind for a second. For a man who was offered $120,000, for a man who had $145,000 guaranteed, if he had just pressed that button, he lost nearly $120,000 of guaranteed value because he could not bring himself to stop playing. That is not a bad beat in poker. That is not a stock market crash. That is a man standing 10 feet away from a button that would have given him $145,000, choosing not to press it, and then watching everything he built disappear case by case until the offers literally had 2 digits instead of 6. The evil eye, the Greek family, the confidence, the energy, none of it could save him from the one enemy you cannot beat on deal or no deal. Bad luck at the wrong time.